Welcome back to Financial Trading Basics, Part 37, Market Minutes 5. Gonna get another finance video. We'll be talking about financial talking points and current events, tracking trades. I closed Carnival Cruise Line before earnings. We have a good example of a biotech getting some positive FDA news and spiking real high, and a bunch of other talking points that are not on the board. Just had to have something up there. Excuse me. So I'm just opening up my account right now, and I closed Carnival Cruise Lines before earnings, just because earnings. But my price cost average on that one was like I think it was like 18.88, and my trade price on Norwegian Cruise Line is 18.21. So I'm still holding that. I have no plans to close that until the reopening really happens. And was going to re-enter Carnival Cruise Line after earnings, which I could have got down to like the 1840s, but it's down again today. It's Wednesday, March 23rd. This video will be, and just for reference, all of my videos are uploaded the day they're recorded. So if they're not time stamped, they're recorded that day. But got to go to Arlington National Cemetery in Washington D.C. for the service for my grandfather, which is tomorrow. So this video will either be, I'm recording it on the Wednesday the 23rd. It'll either be uploaded today or tomorrow. So again, for the finance one, that's pretty relevant for trading. But I just like my cost average better on Norwegian Cruise Line, and I didn't want to hold through earnings. Turned out to be a decent. Again, I closed the position up like 3%, made, I don't know, $200-300 on a $7,000 position. So pretty much flat. But that's really the only thing I've changed differently. How about the ruble? How's that doing? Again, I couldn't open that because I don't think you can, no custodian will hold the ruble for good geopolitical reasons, but just for a trade, I think when I first said I'd buy the ruble, it'd probably be in a 0.0092. 1 ruble gets you that many US dollars, so a little below a penny. Now it's almost back up to a penny, 0.0099 as of right now, 9.51. So the first question, are there uninvestable markets? Meaning, forget the geopolitics, forget war being atrocious, absolute fucking scathing shit stain on this species. But are there uninvestable markets? Meaning, how's globalization really going to progress or go back or back and forth? So, talking about Russia, China, Iran, why or why not? I don't really think there's uninvestable markets, meaning there's some, strictly from a economics perspective, can something so devastating happen that the market literally goes away? Again, like we've had world wars. Did countries go away? They got realigned and stuff. Some broke up and stuff, but the entire market didn't go away. Not even close. So I really don't think there's at any level. Forget even technology. I don't really think there's uninvestable markets. As long as there's consumer demand, as long as there's people, as long as there's individuals, there's going to be a market. So there could be momentarily uninvestable markets such as Russia today, but in general, I don't think there's such thing as an uninvestable market at any level of connectivity. How about globalization? Again, just talking about semiconductors. Like I said, I think we shouldn't be super reliant. Meaning, I think I just heard a stat on CNBC this morning. We went from United States or North America producing 80% of semiconductors to China or Taiwan producing 80% of semiconductors. And even those percentages don't really strike me as super bad. If it was 95 to 5%, it'd be super bad. And if people could just grow up and stop blowing each other up and stop invading shit and stop behaving like, again, children at the global stage, for real, that's all it is, then the world should be interconnected, globalization, right? I'm not for deglobalization, meaning each country should be self-sufficient. We should be, but we should grow up, and then we can interact with one another without murdering each other, and then that's better for the economy as a whole. So the complete reliance on other countries for really needed necessities, goods, no. But if we can get past that's just a practical standpoint, but if we could ever grow up a little bit, then we should absolutely be globalized. Chelsea is for sale. I don't know if that's because of Russia or just because of the sanction, or if it's just up for sale. Regardless, would 100% buy a Premier League soccer team if I could ever get paid or start my career in any meaningful sense. So glad to see that's up for sale. And again, I still don't get to participate in all these freedoms we have. So much freedom, just snorting freedom every day, just basking in all this freedom we have. But I would 100% like to own a Premier League soccer team. AMC buys a gold mine. LOL. 22% stake. So Adam Aaron, not sure what the play is there, but just straight up, do I find that funny? Yes, but investing is investing. If I doubt Adam Aaron has some unknown thing, and I think I heard they don't even they mined 0 gold last quarter or something. So I mean, investing. Like I would not, if you had a competent CEO, and I'm not saying he's incompetent, I just don't know. I didn't research the investment, but I think it's funny, but I don't think it's necessarily bad or just like out of left field if you know what you're doing. But I mean, again, because with a company with real cash flows, right, reinvesting or expanding your investment base could be a good thing. You just got to know what you're doing. But definitely, that was a headline that was funny. What are secondary offerings? You have IPOs, initial public offerings, and then you have secondary offerings. And typically, I won't say typically, but I've researched trading secondaries, and typically you just get a little dip and you can buy into it and get a little pop. But it's just not a trade strategy I would execute on any meaningful level. But it's just another offering of shares. Company, here's our first time you can buy shares. Now we're going to issue some more shares. Now you can buy some more. It's pretty cool. If you're on a board of a company, you can just basically invent money, put it into the open market, and just raise some cash. Individual retirement accounts, Roth versus traditional. Roth are tax deferred, meaning I don't know the exact taxable rules, but you don't have to. If you trade within your Roth IRA, you do not need to pay taxes or short-term capital gains tax right away. But again, not a tax expert. Still got to file my taxes. Just been putting it off because again, I don't really know what to do. But I'm sure it's just Google it, figure it out. But again, it'd be great to learn stuff in school that you actually need to do to survive in the world. That'd be awesome. That'd be pretty interesting stuff. But again, what do we do here in America? We play games and scream "go, go, go" really loud, and then hopefully you don't get scapegoated. Because once you get scapegoated, shit, you can't do anything. So, good thing here in America we don't actually teach people how to do anything they need to survive. That's really good stuff. But deglobalization, will it happen? Should it happen? Just talked about that. What is a recession? In definition, looked it up. It says 1, a weak/negative real GDP growth for a sustained period of time. 2, accompanied by significant rise in unemployment. And I have, what is the most dominant factor for consumer tolerance? Do I agree with these metrics? So weak or real GDP growth. Remember at the very beginning of the season or series, which was a couple of years ago, I think the global GDP was around $60 trillion. That's them new Benjis, them new hundreds. The new hundreds start flowing. So what is a recession? Recession recedes, to bring back, to hold back. But again, when you have valuations at 14 million times forward earnings, does that really indicate anything to me about consumer health? About we'll start with what's the most dominant factor for consumer tolerance? Just again, necessity. Again, needs then wants. Everyone's got to live somewhere, have some heat, have some food and water. So I think for GDP growth into the future, again, I'm not exactly sure on the statistics about poverty versus people that already function, past poverty, but certainly you would satisfy the poverty needs first, and then most of the GDP growth will come from, again, leisure spending or just excess free cash flow. So you could do some analysis there, but I don't even if everyone comes out and says a recession, weak or negative real GDP growth, it really doesn't mean much to me. It just doesn't. Significant unemployment would mean much to me if they don't have money or if they need money or they need employment. But again, I just recession. I don't know. I don't. That is not a convincing definition to me. But what metrics would I use to determine, just a negative, really, really bad thing for the economy? Again, I would say quality of life for the consumer. Again, nobody really needs money. Nobody really needs a lot of extra stuff. People want to be paid what they're owed and what they rightfully have earned. Again, I've not earned anything yet, obviously. Can't pay $1 million to go give a fucking lecture or a musical performance. But weak GDP growth doesn't qualify to me as a recession. Negative real GDP growth. It's just one of these things that it's no opinion on, and people will be like, oh, that's definitely happening, that's definitely there, it's definitely this. I'm just like, whatever, I don't know. Oil peaks and declines 22% as of March 17th, 2022. So several days ago, 5 days ago. But again, I told you I would not buy on the invasion news, so that turned out to be a pretty good insight. Gas prices are starting to come down, but have not come down. I'm not really sure as to why. If they go up that fast and they come down that fast, and it's the open market, I'm not sure why it would not come down. But I was pretty right on. Well, the trade on the ruble, that has not had maturity again. That's, like I said, not just buy a little bit for a long period of time, because again, I don't think there's uninvestable markets. But the oil. Yeah, I just would not have put a trade on that. What is stagflation? Been hearing that word a lot. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Stagflation, reading definition, is when there's a high inflation, high unemployment, and slow or negative real economic growth. So how the fuck is that not the same thing as recession? How's that not the same thing? Weak recession, weak negative real GDP growth for the same period of time. 2, accompanied by a significant rise in unemployment. Again, these are definitions I looked up. And then stagflation is when there is a high inflation, high unemployment, and slower negative real economic growth. So they added high inflation. So stagnation or stagflation is recession plus inflation. Weird ass word. 85% of active fund managers underperformed the S&P 500 in 2021. Yes, shocker. It's almost like there's one sentiment. The maturity level is about 7%. Somebody gets a nice suit, graduates Harvard. They raise $100 million. They're feeling great. They're slicking back their hair. They got 17 tailored suits. They're feeling great. Yeah, and then shit, people just buy stuff. And the consumer still runs the market. So they're going to run these big trading strategies. They're algos. They're algorithmic trading. And then, yeah, there's a war. Yeah. And then, pandemic. Oh, shit. You gotta watch out for all that stuff, man. Uh-oh, insurrection. Uh-oh. Oh, housing market's going through the roof. Uh-oh. 7% inflation. Oh, what now? Uh-oh. Good job, active fund managers. But yeah, unlike me, I can't go raise more monies. I can't even go and join the workforce. I can't even go get the law enforcement to enforce the law. So, 85% of active fund managers underperformed. Round of applause. Fucking amazing. I would give a raise to Reese's chief marketing officer. It's a happy holidays for your mouth. Not sorry. Man, everything's better filled with peanut butter. And then there's a fucking stuffed animal with peanut butter. So I think I'm going to do a whole episode on just commercials I like and don't like, just again as a consumer, and just break it down from an economic perspective. But I would 100% give a raise to whoever's approving the happy holidays for your mouth. Not sorry. That person deserves a raise or two. So, trying to help you out there, Reese's chief marketing officer. A Boeing 737 operated by China Eastern Airlines crashes. 132 people on board. Terrible, obviously. You know, they haven't seen much development on why. From what it seems like, typically you do get a response as to why, so we'll see how that develops. But yeah, in terms of a trade, irrelevant to me. I mean, airline crash, it's like saying there's a car crash today, go bank is financial trade. It's like, oh yeah, airlines are way safer than cars, so it's the same thing. So would I put a trade on that in any way? No. Sorry for the people who lost their lives, but that is not a tradable event. What is debenture? Heard that from downtown Josh Brown on The Compound and Friends. And watching that, I like that. I like their channel. It's pretty good. I saw Josh Brown on the CNBC for quite some time. What's debenture? An unsecured loan certificate issued by a company backed by general credit rather than by specific assets. That's in North America. In British terms, we have a long-term security yielding a fixed rate of interest issued by a company and secured against assets. So debenture in North America is no security, no asset-backed security. And this is just a loan by a company. Without an unsecured loan from a company's debenture is what I got out of that. I don't know, just a term I heard. And then finally for today, our last talking point was, again, like I said, my MNMD. I have it said $12,000 on there, pretty much fully priced in for where I want to be. Down a little bit today. It's right back. My price average there is $1.25. It's right now trading at $1.16, $1.17. Down total $825. That's long-term investment. And then just as an example, the stock NRSN, which I have no position in, but Neurosense Therapeutics, all right, they had some news the other day, and it's like, Neurosense shares surge over 400% as FDA clears initiating pharmacokinetic study of Prime C. No idea what Prime C is, and again, not invested in this company at all. But again, when I'm talking about biotech's always had big spikes in terms of, again, big FDA clearance, and you're going to cure cancer and solve every disease in the world. And that typically doesn't happen, but again, with psychedelics, again, they absolutely are 100% scientifically efficacious. So I'm really waiting for an event like that on MNMD. Something like that happens. Again, I get the double, get the triple up. Again, MNMD, when it first uplisted to the NASDAQ, was trading over $5. So my price average is so far pretty good on this one. And that would be a solid $20,000, $30,000 of appreciation. Sell half my shares and then hold 5,000 shares forever. So again, and that's true for any, not for any, but for a lot of, currently at the current market environment, FDA clearances, because it has a tremendous TAM, total addressable market, healthcare. So that's what I'm really waiting on there, or hoping for there. Again, closed my Carnival Cruise Line just before earnings with a very, very slight win, up a good amount, probably up $1,000 on my Norwegian Cruise Line, on about 11,000, holding, again, I don't know, 560 in cash, and still got about 45,000 in Bitcoin. So that's what I'm doing there. I'll still be tracking the ruble. It just as an interesting trade. If I ever get cash flow, I will be 100% taking new trades and talking about currency, commodity approaches to trading whatevers. So hopefully I can still buy Chelsea at some point, or I get my actual human rights or constitutional rights at some point. And hopefully this video gets uploaded today. If not, it'll be uploaded later tomorrow. And again, it's Wednesday, March 23rd. So thank you for watching Financial Trading Basics Part 37, Market Minutes 5.